We're way down in southwestern Ontario. We've made a run for the border. Great golf, great entertainment in Windsor, Ontario. Today on SCOREGolf TV.
This is Score Golf, the voice of Canadian golf. Score Golf is brought to you by Molson Canadian 67, official beer of the PGA of Canada, RBC Canadian Open, and Canadian Women's Open. Tailor-made golf, the #1 driver in golf. Tourism Kelowna, 20 courses, from easygoing to ego-shattering. Now, here's your host, Bob Weeks.
Hello Canada and welcome to another edition of SCOREGolf TV. Well, today we are about as far south as you can go in Ontario. We are right on the border with the United States. It's Windsor, Ontario, also known as the City of Roses, but it could very easily be known as the city of great golf courses and great entertainment. We're going to show you why a little bit later on in the program. We also have some great instruction for you to help you play a little bit better golf. But to kick things off this week, let's chat with some PGA Tour pros.
Prospective, meeting today's PGA Tour stars.
PGA Tour events come down to the wire all the time. Players' drive that ends up in the water, or a putt that breaks an inch left instead of right. They can be devastating, and not just for the bank account. But in those situations, every golfer, even we weekend warriors, have a shot we can't wait to hit, our go-to shot, and it comes from the most trustworthy club in our bag.
It's going to be my putter, just because it's something I'm the most confident with, and it kind of bails me out of a lot of jams a lot of times, and I don't want to ever make my putter mad, so it's always going to be my answer.
I wish I would say the putter, but no one wants to say that's the most trustworthy. It's probably the streakiest club in everyone's bag. You know, there was times throughout my career I thought I was a really good wedge player. I thought my wedge got me out of a lot of trouble, and it was the reason I made a lot of birdies. But I'd say that probably the most consistent throughout my career is probably the driver and being able to put the ball in play, and it makes the game a lot easier if you can play from the fairway or from good spots. And you know, it doesn't happen every week, but I think year in and year out, it's one of the more consistent clubs in my bag.
The last couple of years would have been driver, because I can either launch it very high or keep it very low, and the low one has been pretty efficient, just using the ground and making sure it doesn't really go far offline.
The one that just hit the greatest shot. My most trustworthy. We've all had love affairs with everything from driving it like a champion to making every putt. I probably love the lob wedge. I think the dynamics of a lob wedge can be from a plug line, a bunker, to 100 yards out in the fairway, or it's the most versatile club in the bag. I think the lob wedge is. I've hit more shots on in a golf round with my lob wedge than anything else, apart from obviously using a driver. So I think it's the most dynamic and the one I probably have the strongest relationship with.
While having trust in your clubs is important, gaining experience is even more vital in making it to the PGA Tour. Events such as the RBC Canadian Open provide opportunities for impressive amateurs such as Toronto's Albin Choi to brush shoulders with the world's best for a week. While many rising stars have all the tools in their golf game, plenty of amateurs fall short in realizing their dreams of making it onto golf's biggest stage. So who better to offer some advice to amateurs on their way up than a few tour players themselves?
One tip would be, I think, to play within yourself. Most amateurs are trying to hit the ball too far. You know, it's an 8 or a 9 iron. I think I can get the 9 iron there. You know, a professional golfer is out there saying it's an 8 or 9 iron, which one can I get closest to the pin? It's not about how little club you can hit or how hard you can hit the ball. It's more about which club is going to give me the best percentage to hit a good golf shot. And most amateurs aren't aware of how far they hit the ball. You know, having some sort of yardage device, whether it's a Sky Caddy or a laser or whatever it may be, something that can give you an idea on the practice range how far you hit the ball and being able to take that to the golf course.
It would be get fitted, like use the right equipment, and probably take an extra club all the time.
I would say try and keep their swing a bit smoother, probably take the tension out of their hands. Most times if you're trying, you're gripping the club very firm. So I would say the amateurs to feel like the club feels a bit more lighter, so when they're over the ball, maybe just waggle the club a bit more and take some of that tension out of their hands and out of their arms, and therefore you increase your chances. Tense arms, tense hands with not great mechanics is going to destroy a shot. So just be aware of how much they're holding the club and just feel like you're doing enough to sustain a swing.
The biggest thing that my dad did when I was growing up that really helped me play golf is make it fun, enjoyable. You know, go out there to have experience, get around, play fast, but have fun with it. You know, it's a game. It's supposed to be fun. You know, don't try to take it too seriously. Don't set your expectations too high. Go out there with a goal of just trying to have as much fun as possible, and you'd be surprised how much better you get.
Smell the roses while you're out there, because you never know who you're going to run into or what you're going to do, and just you know, it's not always about golf. It's about golf when you're from 1 to 18. When you're out there on the golf course, but there's so much more you'll capture and remember the rest of your life. So enjoy the cities, enjoy the culture, and try to grasp all that and take it in.
If they want it bad enough, that they'd have to work hard at it, and anything is possible. I think that's the number one thing is, you know, any one of them, any junior golfer, any collegiate golfer that wants to play on the PGA Tour, the opportunities are there, and if they want to, they just need to work hard at it, and eventually their dreams will come true.
Coming up after the break, touring 3 fine courses in Windsor. Windsor used to be known as the automotive capital of Canada, and while it still may hold that banner, it's also become a great destination. There are some fabulous golf courses down here, such as this one, the Ambassador Golf Club, and there's also great entertainment with Caesars, Windsor, and all sorts of other great opportunities down here for a great vacation. Let's show you what makes Windsor a great place to visit.
Now, time for Golf Getaways, featuring the best golf destinations in North America.
If you're looking for a weekend of golf, sports, and maybe a little fun at the tables, then look no further than Windsor, Ontario. The southernmost city in Canada has become a hotspot for weekend warriors who are looking to get away for a trip where they can get as much bang for the buck as possible. Restaurants, the riverfront shopping, there's lots to do here. And when daylight disappears, Caesars Windsor becomes an attractive spot for slots, poker, food, and entertainment. And you can't forget Windsor's 2-time Memorial Cup winning team that featured the great Taylor Hall, the Windsor Spitfires. But it's golf that's turning heads as 3 amazing courses are available to the public, and you can play all 3 with a cart for only $150. A great place to start your tour is the Thomas McBroom designed Ambassador Golf Club. This golf course is a links-inspired layout and at first glance can look challenging. Fairways are uneven, flashed up deep bunkers with rough-hewn edges are littered throughout, and wind gusts over the course. However, McBroom designed the course with the public in mind and ensured that the fairways are wide and the greens have generous landing areas. And McBroom kept to a traditional links design by ensuring that greens were free of frontal hazards, which allows players to stick to a bump-and-run game if they so desire.
The bunkering, I think, is quite unique. Might be similar to a Fire Rock or something like that, which is also a Tom McBroom in that same time frame. We are large greens, large fairways, so we're friendly. The fescue frames the area rather than penalizes you, so it is fun to play, but the trouble is there and it can be challenged if you want.
The one thing about Ambassadors, you're going to be using every single club in your bag. You're not just going to be driver wedge around the golf course. So you are going to be faced with some longer second shots. It is a great second shot golf course. And then around the greens, you're going to be able to use your imagination with some of your wedges and, you know, pitch shots, bump and runs, that type of thing. There's some false fronts on the greens and on a few of them, and it just makes it a good challenge all around.
The first 3 holes of the course are absolutely magnificent and are a great way to kick off your round of golf. But it's when you arrive at the 4th tee that suddenly you're faced with both a stunning design, but also a daunting tee shot.
You definitely have water to the right, you've got fescue bunkers to the left, but from the tee it looks like you don't have a whole lot of room. But in actual fact, because of the way McBroom designed the golf course, there's a lot of room over those bunkers on the right-hand side. So it's a great golf hole.
On the back nine, the 15th hole could easily be included on any list of Canada's top risk-reward golf holes, as the par 4 dares you to take a chance on driving for the green on your tee shot. This dogleg left sports a continuous bunker and water hazard down the left side. It truly is a hole that will leave you gazing at the beauty before you hit your shot.
Most of the guys will try and go for it because it's just fun. You don't have to carry it a long way because there's just the way the hole is set up. You can land it actually short of the green and it will bounce up and roll up. So it, you know, for whatever type of player you are, it's kind of an exciting hole to try and drive the green. Yeah.
Ambassador is a par 71 public course that's hosted numerous Canadian championships, including the 2011 PGA Tour of Canada Championship, won by Stuart Anderson. This course is a reason unto itself to head to Windsor for a round of golf. But if you're looking for more places to tee it up, then Roseland Golf Club is equally impressive. It's protected by the City of Windsor bylaws for its heritage value as one of only 9 Donald Ross-designed courses in Canada. The famous Scottish designer is well known for his work at Pinehurst, North Carolina, and this year's PGA Championship course, Oak Hill Country Club in Rochester, New York. Ross was known to display great attention to detail and often created challenging courses with very little earth moving. According to Jack Nicklaus, his stamp as an architect was naturalness. When stepping out on Roseland, you'll clearly see that philosophy on display, as its natural beauty is attractive and inviting from every tee box.
It's friendly for everybody, you know, like long all the way back to just under 7,000, all the way, you know, downwards in the low 5,000s. But friendly, park style. Ross wanted it to be, you know, playable for everything. And then you get to the greens and you get challenges. You got a lot of mounds. You got to position your ball still to score low, but to score in the mid-range, it's not that hard. So a lot of people like it.
Meanwhile, his greens almost always featured upside-down saucer designs, with everything falling off at the sides. Roseland plays similarly, as Ross invites golfers to play run-up shots, but when you carry those balls onto the back of the green, you'll find a tough time nailing birdies. There's a pair of signature holes that are absolutely gorgeous, beginning with the 17th. It's a drivable par 4 with 4 bunkers protecting the green.
17's a tough one because the winds are usually taking you into that fairway bunker. So when the pros were here, some would lay up on 17 to the bunker and then come in on a long shot and try to run it off the bank of the green. Others would bomb it over depending on how they were hitting it, and just really depends on how your driver is going. You've got to come out of those trees. It's tough.
The 18th is the second of the course's signature holes and another drivable par 4. But the well-placed bunkers on both the left and right side of the fairway force golfers into a near-perfect shot, otherwise they may be in for a little bit of sand. Roseland also has a 9-hole par 3 course that's fun and inviting for families or beginning golfers.
Wonderful short course, which is a rarity, very small holes, but we start kids at age 2, 3 years old, and even the 95-year-olds come out here and play. So we've got everything for everybody here, and that's our motto, and that's what we want to keep to push towards for the next 5 years.
The third course that is a must-play in the Windsor region is Kingsville Golf and Country Club. This 27-hole layout was founded in 1925 and boasts over 100 sand traps and a dozen holes with water.
We are blessed in that we have lots of hills and valleys, a creek that meanders through the golf course, and a lot of mature trees. So our topography here is definitely second to none.
Its Gold Course features 9 spectacular holes that defy the flatlands of Essex County. The rolling landscape and treed fairways flow naturally throughout, and the 4th is one of the most challenging holes in the region. It's a dogleg left that dips into a valley but finishes atop a hill around a bend.
There's 2 ways to play that, is to land the tee shot on top of the hill and then hit a shorter iron down below and wedge up. And that's a very prudent way to play the golf course. For those who'd like to stretch it a little bit further, if you hit your tee shot and pass the hill, you're basically going to be very easy to get home in 2.
After wrapping up the 4th, the tee box on the 5th awaits. It's affectionately known as the Bear Paw by locals because of its design featuring 4 bunkers on the small hill behind the green and a 5th trap just below it, giving the appearance of, you guessed it, a bear's paw.
It does go downhill just slightly depending on what tee you're playing. You always want to check the breeze because it's very difficult sometimes to judge it when you're back in that corner surrounded by trees, but definitely keep your ball below the hole, and missing that front bunker is much better than hitting it over the green.
The 8th is a medium-length par 3 shot that usually plays into the wind coming off Lake Erie. If your shot is short on the tee ball, you will carry down the front of the green and into the valley, which will lead to a disastrous result on the scorecard. The club is also honored to be the home of 3 Canadian amateur champions, Cheryl Damphouse, Laura Henderson-Matthews, and now Web.com touring pro Richard Scott, who was a 3-time Canadian amateur winner. And when you're finished playing your round of golf at Kingsville, you can drive down the street to Peely Island Winery and grab yourself a bottle of wine. This region is fast becoming known for its vintages. Making the trip to Windsor is definitely worth your while, as you can play all 3 of these courses over a weekend with a cart for only $150, making it one of the sweetest golf deals in the country. After this break, we'll bring you a tip from Tiger Woods coach Sean Foley. He started off teaching juniors at Glen Abbey, and now he's teaching Tiger Woods and more on the PGA Tour, but he's still right here on ScoreGolf TV. Here's Sean Foley.
Johnny Walker presents Progress Your Game. Great round. Keep walking. Please enjoy responsibly. Johnny Walker.
Before you understand the golf swing, the first thing that you have to understand is really the essence of why the ball flies the way that it does. Historically, we'd been taught that if the club face was closed, that's why the ball curved to the left. If the club face was open, that's why the ball curved to the right. What we've come to find with modern technology and the use of TrackMan and apparatuses like that, we've seen that the ball starts generally at a 90-degree angle from where the face is pointed. So, as weird as it sounds, when you hit a proper draw, which means that the ball is going to start right of the target and curve into the target, that's always done with an open club face. So as long as the hands are forward at impact and you're taking a divot, the club face is generally going to be open. So a draw is hit in a function of that the club face is pointed to the right because the hands are forward. Now what you have to understand is where path comes into that. So basically, in a perfectly straight shot, we're just swinging around our body in this circle or arc, okay? So what happens, in order to make the ball curve to the left, as the face is coming in and the hands are forward, the club has to be moving in to out on the circle, okay, or in to out on the arc, all right? Now the opposite of the draw is if the club face obviously has to be closed to get the ball to start left, we're swinging out to in on the circle, not the target line, but the arc that we're creating. So it looks like this. So as far as the draw goes, my hands are forward, the face is open, I'm swinging in to out on the arc. Okay, and as far as the fade goes, the club face is going to be closed to the circle at impact, and I'm swinging out to in on the arc. So just in summation, remember, the club face, one of the most important things to understand is the ball's always generally going to start at a 90-degree angle from where the club face is pointed, and it's going to curve in direction of the path. So if you want it to curve to the left, you swing the path to the right. If you want it to curve to the right, you swing the path to the left. And as always, golf is a game of opposites.
The Tee Off Season is brought to you by Molson Canadian 67, proud sponsor of golf and the official sport of the Gaia.
I can't come to Windsor without talking to the franchise, and I'm talking about 2 franchises here, actually the Windsor Spitfires and the Reichel franchise here. Warren Reichel, a Stanley Cup champion and now part owner of the Windsor Spitfires, and your son Kirby here, who's going to be entering the draft this year. This is obviously you're a lifelong resident here, Warren. What makes Windsor such a great place?
Oh, you know what? It is a great place. You said it. I mean, I think the biggest thing is the weather and our availability to great courses like this. Passionate hockey fans, real nice people, and proximity to the U.S. border. I mean, it's an unbelievable place, and you know, I had a opportunity to settle in many different places, but chose to come home and settle here.
Now, I was looking through the records, and I noticed in your dad's list of the stats, there's one stat that kind of stood out. It was 1,422 penalty minutes in his career, which I don't know how your math is, but that basically equates to about 24 hours in the penalty box. You're a little different type of player, though, right?
Yeah, I think I have a little bit more offensive upside than he did, but I'm not afraid to drop the gloves and implement that in my game. I think it's important to have that club in your bag for sure.
Now, I'm sure you must be proud of him. Obviously, he's a hockey player, but father and son golf. Do you guys get out and play a lot? I mean, that's something that Canadians all over the country do. I mean, I know I play with my dad and I love it. I play with my son. I love it.
But I mean, I think this is a friendly. I mean, if the cameras aren't around, it's not the normal father-son 18 holes. It's pretty much grudge match.
And there's one more big event, obviously. That's your son here going to get drafted into the NHL. How proud are you about that?
Oh, it's going to be a great day. I mean, it's going to be emotional. I know for him and for me too, but he deserves everything he gets, and someone will get a good two-way player, that's for sure.
Kirby, excited? What are you expecting?
Yeah, it's definitely going to be an exciting day for me and my family. It's something that every Canadian kid that plays hockey dreams of, to be drafted in the NHL. So, it's going to be an exciting day, and I'm just trying to count down the days right now and just get ready for it.
You guys have had a great run here with Memorial Cup wins, those back-to-back titles. That must really help the franchise.
Yeah, it sure does. I mean, from where we started, it was tough when we first purchased the team, but put in the hard work, had some great kids come through here, some good young players, and to win it is great, especially for Windsor and Essex County. And the more kids we make and the better people and players, it's the better for the franchise.
And Kirby, obviously seeing some of those players come through here now go on to the NHL career like you're going to do, that's got to be an inspiring thing.
Yeah, it's definitely a huge help. I mean, you get to see guys come through here, Taylor Hall, Cam Fowler, Ryan Ellis, Zach Cassian, just to name a few. It's definitely cool to see how hard they work on and off the ice and see how they act as professionals too.
Oh man, that's unbelievable. Nice putt. Thanks guys, good luck with the Spits. Thanks for having us here in Windsor. After this break, we'll wrap up our show from Windsor, Ontario.
Week Speaks is brought to you by Bushnell, makers of the Pro 1M and Tour Z6 rangefinders.
I have never seen or even met the guys who sit on the Joint Rules Committee. That's the group from the USGA, the R&A, and Golf Canada who sit around and decide what's legal and not legal under the rules of golf. But I imagine they're probably about 80 or 90 years old. They're dressed in old blazers and they wear like monocles and smoke big fat cigars. I can't imagine they get out and see what's going on in the real world of golf. How else can you explain all the rules situations that have come up over the last month or so? There was the two-shot penalty to the 14-year-old kid for slow play. There was the whole anchored putter debate that's been going on. There was allowing some guy sitting on a couch drinking beer and eating chips to call in and decide what happens to Tiger Woods in the Masters and then retroactively assessing him a penalty. But the worst one of all to me is they have now ruled James Lepp's saucer pass illegal. Oh, I can't believe it. This is a shot that I actually tried and loved. It made the game so easy. James Lepp used it, of course, on Golf Channel's Big Break, and it has been in play for a number of years now, but no longer. No, the rules of golf people said you cannot use it. It was great, it was creative, it was imaginative, it's what golf needs. It made golf fun, and to take it away, oh, you Joint Rules Committee guys, you have no fun, no imagination at all. Shame on you. That's all the time we have for this week on ScoreGolf TV. Thanks to everybody down here in Windsor. It's been a beautiful trip down to southwestern Ontario. Get down here and play some golf, and we will see you next time on ScoreGolf TV.
Thanks for watching Score Golf on TSN, the voice of Canadian golf. Score Golf is brought to you by Jack Link's Beef Jerky. Feed your wild side. Bob Weeks Clothing supplied by Ashworth.